Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another IDA Motivational Monday educational webinar. Today, I'm really excited. We're going to be having a book chat with Carolee Dean. Today's focus is going to be on narrative nonfiction picture books that will get kids excited about books, but that are also interesting for teachers and tutors to discuss with them. Our next Motivational Monday will be on the importance of morphology and early instruction, and our speaker will be Sue Hegland. Please continue to check our website, social media, and eBlast for more information on additional upcoming Motivational Mondays. And if you've missed any of our past sessions, feel free to check them out on IDA's digital library at dyslexialibrary.org. I do have some other announcements before we get started. To celebrate Teacher Appreciation Month, IDA is giving away 4 teacher memberships and 1 virtual registration to IDA's Dyslexia Conference, DyslexiaCon 2021. And we want to invite you to nominate your favorite reading teachers. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for reminders to nominate teachers and links to the nomination process. We'll also be posting some of your submissions to celebrate all the amazing reading teachers that you know and love. The drawings for this will happen every Friday morning in May, so be sure to be on the lookout for that, and I invite you to nominate your teachers. I also want to encourage you to register for our blended conference experience October 21st through 23rd. It's going to be held in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can visit the IDA website at dyslexiaida.org for more information and for the registration link. And also remember to check out idatv.org for our latest new content, special collections, and power sessions. But now I'd like to introduce you to our presenter. Carolee Dean is a board-certified speech-language pathologist, dyslexia interventionist, and a member of ALTA and IDA. She's a former president of IDA's Southwest branch and currently is the regional rep for the Pacific region. She's also a frequent speaker at educational conferences, including ASHA and IDA's. She's the author of Story Frames for Teaching Literacy, Enhancing Student Learning Through the Power of Storytelling, which came out in April 2021 and is published by Brooks Publishing. She spent over 20 years working in the public schools with students from K to 12 and is now in private practice. She's also, if that wasn't enough, the author of award-winning young adult fiction and is a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. So please join me in welcoming Carolee, and I'm going to let you take over. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for that introduction, Janet. It's always lovely to spend time with you. So today we're going to have a book chat, and we're going to focus specifically on narrative nonfiction picture books. I love all types of children's literature, and I think that the plaque on the wall behind it kind of describes why. And what it says is, fairy tales are more than real, not because they teach us that dragons are real, but because they teach us that dragons can be beaten. And what I want to focus on today is that inspiration, since this is Motivational Monday, of how to inspire and lift the spirits of our children who may spend a lot of time struggling with reading. So these are the narrative nonfiction picture books that we will be discussing today, and they are for children of all ages, students of all ages, for teens as well as for younger children, and we'll be talking about why that is the case in just a minute. As Janet said, she has already told you some of my past experiences, but the experience I will be drawing on most today is my experience as a young adult author, as a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, and that membership has actually led me into friendships with some fabulous children's authors whose books I'm going to be highlighting today. So, financial and non-financial disclosures. I will be talking about many titles, and some of them, not all of them, but some of them are written by friends and acquaintances of mine. I am the author of Story Frames for Teaching Literacy, and there will be a book list provided, a link. And so just so that you know, there is, that is provided by the publisher. And so I need to disclose that. We'll be talking about 14 narrative nonfiction picture books, and this book list has additional titles for chapter books and novels. I'm going to mention some big bookstore events I think that may be of interest to you. They are promotional in nature, so just be aware of that. But some of these wonderful authors that I'm talking about are going to be doing some events with me And I think you might like to hear from them about their titles, but be aware that any of these books can be checked out from your school or public library. And if your library doesn't have a title, you can usually get it through interlibrary loan. Some of the content I'm going to skim over very quickly today. If you would like to do a deeper dive into that, I will be presenting one of the content power sessions for the 2020 annual IDA conference that took place last year. There's ongoing power sessions that are being rolled out. Mine is in November. It's November 1st. And then the follow-up Q&A will be November 12th. And the title of that presentation is The Goldilocks Effect: Finding the Just Right Books for Struggling Readers. I am not going to post this entire PowerPoint for download just because there are some book covers that the publishers have allowed me to use, but they are copyrighted material. However, I will be posting some links as well as bibliography, but I want to draw your attention to two especially good articles that I think will be of interest to you. Both are found in the Perspectives on Language and Literacy, which, if you are a member of IDA, you'll probably have online access to these. One is by Shanahan, Why Children Should Be Taught to Read with More Challenging Texts. And the other is by Scott and Balthazar, The Role of Complex Sentence Knowledge in Children with Reading and Writing Difficulties. So as we are looking for those books that are just right for our struggling students, some of the things that we need to consider are, what are the student factors? What are the strategies and supports that they have in place? What are our purposes for sharing a specific text for them? And what are the different types of texts? And all of those things support our decisions of what kind of text to use. And so looking at the student factors, we need to look at the reading strengths and weaknesses. If a student has undergone testing to evaluate their reading and writing, then what are their patterns of strengths and weaknesses? Some students can decode very fluently and read very fluently, but when you ask them any questions about what they've read or ask them to tell you what they've read, they have no idea. Other students have difficulty decoding, and they may be able to listen to a text and remember everything, but their decoding ability challenges their own ability to read independently. What is their attention level? What are their personal interests? And is there any room in the choosing of books where they have a choice? Not always, but is there any room for choice? What is their emotional fortitude? What is their stamina? Reading can be physically and emotionally exhausting. And so how long the books are, how long the chapters are that we share with them can impact that. And what is their use of strategies? They may have been taught all kinds of strategies, but can they use those strategies independently? So the next one is, what are our purposes? And our purposes for sharing a text often has to do with, who are we? Who is the person who is introducing the text? And I wear many hats when I share different books and types of texts. Sometimes I wear the parent hat, and as a parent, I'm sharing books with my children just to improve their joy of reading and their love of books. But when I'm working as a dyslexia interventionist, then a large part of what I do is to practice decoding. So I'm going to go to a very specific sort of text to practice decoding. When I'm wearing my SLP hat, I'm looking at the IEP goals and objectives of the students on my IEP caseload, my SLP caseload. And so if I have a goal for improving the understanding of narrative structure, improving vocabulary understanding and use, improving the ability to answer questions, those are going to influence the types of books that I choose. Sometimes our purpose is just to expose our students to the language of books. A classroom teacher may be choosing a book to explore a subject along the lines of history, the American Revolution, or